Can you hear my voice? I have to apologize, guys, for being not connected to the voice. Not connecting the voice. I was saying I I don't really know. This is coming from not being a live trader or a professional for live streams. I really apologize for this issue that happened. And yeah, we have the first presented fair value gap over here. As you can see, that is a type of CB. And we are so far trading above this with the big white candle over here. That is pre-news release. I really don't see any reason for this, but so far I was mentioning I'm interested in seeing price going lower and reaching to this sell side liquidity over here first, my first target, and for the morning session this target over here, as it is the low of the new week opening gap and another opening day gap. So let's just be patient and watch how the market is trading. All right, still we are in the consolidation phase for before the news release at 9:45, around 3 more minutes. We can see that today we opened with a opening gap of around 600 points. That is quite a lot, and the market is very bullish the whole day, starting from yesterday's trading hour at 6. Okay, so far we don't have any kind of big movement, and we are waiting for the market to see. To me, then I'm very interested to see price going lower, as it happens to go higher and higher the whole time, and we have also a very big new day opening gap for today, so we have to see a kind of retracement lower in order in this place here around 18,860 is my favorite place. Okay, so far let's get back to the 1 minute chart, and I would like to have a measurement of this candle over here, and let's see how it's acting with the quadrant and consequent encouragement of that. This candle must be closed below the consequent encouragement of the week I measured. Let me just highlight these levels over here with different colors. Okay, so far so good, as I was expecting. We are closing below the consequent encouragement, and the news has released. We see the market has traded up and down, mostly going higher. So by doing this, I'm expecting, I don't like to see this high over here is tapped or kind of perched, but it is possible for the market to perch this high over here and trying to reach this CB of the Monday, March 31st. From here, without touching the consequent encouragement, start its move for going lower. Okay, we have 10 seconds to the closing of this candle. which is the news candle. If you want to study the price, you can see this week, and the body of the candle is respecting exactly the midpoint of this week over here. So the damage are always caused by the wicks, but the bodies are important and they are telling us the real story. So here I'm waiting just to see a kind of rejection in the price, and if it has the power to go lower. So far we are not interested in going to any trade. The upper quadrant of the wick is respected by the bodies candle. Okay. So far we are witnessing that the bodies of the candles are respecting the wick that I measured in its quadrant, and we are just looking at the price to give us a reason for going short. I'm not very interested to see price going higher for today, or if it can go higher. I'm not interested to get in for going higher prices. We can see that on the 5-minute chart we have this wick that I measured over here, and the bodies are respecting almost the consequent encouragement on the upper quadrant. So let's see how the market is utilizing this, and if it can go above this high that I mentioned. I'm not very interested to see going higher. You can see here we have a very dirty price action over here. A lot of back and forth uncovering the price for candles. That is not pleasant at all to us. Okay, right now we traded above the high that I mentioned, and let's see it has the power to go reaching to this BC over here, as well as the high of the new week opening gap for previous week. Well, we got a rejection after purging that buy side. Respecting the consequent encouragement of the week, as you can see by this big red candle. Okay, I'm waiting to see if there is any kind of power in the price to make this as a CB, and if it happens, we can see this as a potential draw for the price to go touch the first presented fair value gap. Now I set my position for one contract instead of 6. Over here, yes. My target is below this low over here, which is above the lower quadrant of the week I measured. To me, the draw is toward the first presented fair value gap, and let's see if we got filled here. Yes, we got filled in 2 minutes, or I can say 1 minute over here, which is interesting. We had a very nice run from this fair value gap front over here for today, and coupled it with the breaker over here and with this red candle, we have a run over here for around 45 handle. Yeah, we see the market is now trading lower and lower prices, which is as I expected, as I mentioned so far. If we get back to this area over here of this red candle, this is also interesting to me because I don't like to see trading above the midpoint of this red candle. Now the market is trying to reach the first presented fair value gap of today. All right, so far we are in a good hands. We got our profit in less than 2 minutes. I can say within 2 minutes. That is worth us around 900, and it was very sweet. Now I'm watching the price in this volume imbalance over here and how it's acting, and if it has the power to send the price lower. I believe that doing these things for me every day, going live and sharing my opinion and ideas about trading with you guys online, can help me and improve my learning and kind of fasten my learning curves in order to reach my consistency and stability in trading. That's why for some days like yesterday I have a lot of losing trades that my strategy allows me, which is 3 per day, and in days like today I have in 2 minutes a winning trade. So now we are seeing that this volume imbalance is kind of holding the price and trying to send the price lower. This is the interesting point to me, but now let's see how it's acting. The volume imbalance I'm mentioning is this one over here. Between this candle and this candle we have a volume imbalance. If I can find this point, okay. Wow, we had a week over these candles 50% week, and let's see how we are trading over here with this volume imbalance. So far everything is good, and we have got our nice position from this fair value gap over here to upper portion of the upper quadrant of the price run over here. It also had the potential and it delivered the low of the week in the 5-minute chart as I highlighted. We are in 10 o'clock trading, and you can see the market is trading quite crazy, reaching the CB of March 31st, and now cleared both sell side and buy side liquidity in this range over here. Now we have to just wait and see what the market is doing. This shouldn't try to trade without any plan. I don't know if you guys also noticed every day, or I can say most of the day at 10 o'clock, we have a kind of crazy movement in the market structures. And this is always creating a kind of indecisive candle like this that clears both buy side and sell side liquidity. So to me it's very advantageous to sit still and doing nothing in order to get some more insight. Now we are trading back to the CB in 1-minute chart, as you can see, and just notice the respective of the candle's body over here. Another run for gore and touching the lower quadrant of the week in 5-minute chart over here. this kind of price action today is with a lot of manipulation, and this is kind of normal because we already had most of the important news of this week, this month in previous week, and this week we are so light in news. So this kind of manipulation and price actions are quite easy. As you can see in the 5-minute charts, I would like to have a review over here. The candles are overlapping a lot, but you can see even in the 5-minute charts, the bodies of the candles are respecting the 1-minute fair value gap that I mentioned over here. That is type of CB, sell-side imbalance, buy-side inefficiency. And now, so far, we are just gyrating around. We don't have any clear indication of the price movement, so we can kind of do a measurement as I always do, from low to the high, and just let me make this consequent encouragement as a line and then clear 30.50. Okay. Okay, sorry, it's here 52. Okay. This is the consequent encouragement of the week in 5 minutes. So far we are visiting the market that is acting crazy without any clear direction for going higher or lower. And yeah, I was saying I was measuring from low to the high of the opening range between 9:30 and 10 o'clock New York local time, and I would like to use some of the projections in order to have overview of the price and how far it can go. You can put 1 and 0.5 or 1.2, sorry. Okay, we can see this 1.5 level over here is very interesting to me, since it's below the sell side liquidity, and I would like to see this level here at 18,800 even being touched, because we have sell side liquidity, the low of the new week opening gap and low of the new day opening gap. So let's see how it's acting. Let's clear a little bit our chart and see what's going on here. Once again touching the low of the fair value gap in 1-minute chart. If you pay attention also here, if we do a measurement, the bodies of the candle are respecting the upper portion of the wick, as you can see. We just traded with 2 or 3 weeks below the consequent encouragement of this week, which is our discount array at this point. and after that we rejected and tried reaching to the fair value gap in 1 minute chart. Okay, so far we don't have anything clear, and I'm just waiting for the market to give me some very nice price action, because this is very muddy and not interesting at all to me. We are trading up and down, back and forth, and covering a lot of price ranges, which is making this price action very dirty and high resistance for trading. I prefer to sit still and do nothing, because so far I got my fruit from this trade over here at 19,065 and a half to 19,022 and a quarter, which is around 45 handles. It's a very nice run. So to me this is enough for the day. I reached my target of the day. I'm just waiting for the market to watch and practice it. I'm not going to set any other position. We have traded above the consequent encouragement of the week in 5-minute chart, as well as hitting the high of the fair value gap in 1-minute chart. The body of this candle respected the consequent encouragement of the fair value gap over here. So far we are in a very muddy price action and nothing interesting at all. It's 22, 25, which is, sorry, here, yes, this should be blue. This candle is also respecting the lower half with its body, and let's see what we have over here. Okay, apparently the price is not trying to reach to any place. It's just gyrating in a range of the 10 o'clock candle. When it doesn't go more than the 50% of the candle high or low, we're just watching and kind of improving our patience in price action. I just want to stay here with you and read the price. I'm not planning to enter for any position at all, because I got what I wanted for today, and I'm just watching the price and studying to see if there is any opportunity for hypothetical entries, either going low or long. But to me, going low and short is more probable, because we have traded a lot for today and we are opening in a very premium price with a very large new day opening gap and opening range gap. Okay, apparently the price is trying to reach another time for the buy side liquidity of the candle at 10 o'clock, but we have to sit and Wait, they are not trading at all. The interesting point is that on the S&P chart, the candle could not close above the fair value gap that I highlighted over here in the same chart. If you go to the S&P chart, you can find that CB forming there, but the bodies of the candle over there are respecting the consequent encouragement of the fair value gap. But over here in Nasdaq, we are closing above the fair value gap, and I am expecting to see a kind of inversion action from this fair value gap for Nasdaq. But let's see, right now we closed above the fair value gap in S&P 500. Okay, still we are watching the price action, tapping to the fair value gap over here and let's see if it's acting as an inversion to send the price higher or no. It's just another muddy price action for today, and comes back to the range over here. The bodies are respecting the fair value gap, if you can see, but just let's wait. I would like to measure also this week over here, and yeah, we see it didn't even reach the consequent encouragement of this week at 19,109.5. I have placed my indication in 1 minute. Just to keep tracking of the price, I'm doing this. $17.11. Okay, after touching once again the low of the fair value gap over here, we are trying to reach lower prices. Even in the 5-minute chart, as you can see, we don't have anything interesting. So far we are just in a consolidation over here and nothing happened. But let's see. We do have a kind of VC over here below this candles. Let's highlight this for our study. We also have a minor source of liquidity over here under this candle's low. Let's see if the price is reaching here or not. Okay, now we are trying to reach to the 15-minute BC fair value gap. if you pay attention, I would like to see this red candle over here as a breaker, high, low, and higher high, and this red candle over here is my breaker candle. I'm just looking at it and see if it has the power to send price lower. You can copy this with the consequent encouragement of the wick of this 10 o'clock candle and start going lower, and the first draw will be the first presented fair value gap. We just tapped into the 15-minute BC and fell short a little bit from the first presented fair value gap. Alright, now we tapped into the first presented fair value gap, which is a type of CB, but here we can consider it as an inversion fair value gap. But let's wait for it and see how it's behaving. Actually, we are not rushing. Here I am expecting a little bit run higher and tapping into the lower half of this breaker block over here, which is quite considerable amount of range, around 50 handles. You can copy that with the BC formed over here, but you have to consider that there is a volume imbalance over here, as well as this small BC with this volume imbalance over here. So it's a big BC formed here, but in my opinion the price should not be able to reach out of the breaker block, because we have the breaker block, we have the wick of 10 o'clock consequent encouragement, and these are quite enough with this CB over here to send the price for going lower. Let's consider if we were entering from low of the fair value gap. Till here we could save 32, and to the consequent encouragement of the 15-minute chart is 40 handles that we required as our target. And you can see a very nice run from here. Tapped once again, I guess, the high of the first presented fair value gap of today. And got repelled. Okay, we are trying to touch the BC in 15-minute chart again. And yes, our target, our hypothetical target is filled over here, and I'm very happy for this second one. Here we do have a kind of SMT divergence between Nasdaq and S&P 500. here Nasdaq created lower low, while in S&P we have a higher low. So I would like to add this to my study over here and see how it's acting. Now we once again try to hit the low of the fair value gap in 1 minute chart after hitting the first presented fair value gap. And if we measure from here to here, we have around another 40 handles. Right. Okay, now we traded to the consequent encouragement of the 5-minute wick with a very large candle. And let's see what we do have here. We have a fair value gap that is over here. We can use this as an inversion fair value gap right now and couple this with the breaker block. So let's just see if the price can reach to this and fill us for a run higher, hypothetical run higher, using this inversion breaker block and this inversion fair value gap in 1 minute chart. Now we are trading around the consequent encouragement of the 1 minute CB that is formed at 9:52, and after that we are trading higher prices. Well, you can consider here from the first presented fair value gap that is acted as a inversion, we had a very nice one for going higher prices, and let's see if we were targeting the high of this candle. It's 125 handles, and if we can trade to high of this candle at 10, it's around 163 handles. So far we are trading in bullish market after being in a very dirty and muddy price action. I will be here maybe 3-4 minutes because I already got my target field for today, and I'm not trading anymore. So let's see. Here we do have a kind of higher high in Nasdaq and a lower high in S&P. Let's see if S&P can create a higher high as well or not. Okay, the S&P failed to have a higher high, and probably here we can enter for a little run when short. And the consequent encouragement of this candle over here. I would like to see the reaction of the price for this, and if this has the potential to send the price going lower after the S&P divergence in S&P and Nasdaq. I'm interested to see lower runs from the consequent encouragement of that week, as we have a S&P divergence between these highs in Nasdaq and relative highs in S&P market. Okay, we tapped into the consequent encouragement of the week. Still, we don't have a higher high in S&P. Okay, now we have a higher high in S&P market, and we are watching how it's behaving. If the market is trying to reach the first present fair value gap on Monday, March 31st. Okay, since in S&P we created a higher high in this candle, I think we can remove this divergence because it's not anymore valid. We tapped into the consequent encouragement of that first presented fair value gap on Monday, March 31st, and also cleared the high of the candle at 10. Meanwhile, S&P failed to reach the high of that candle. I'm studying the price at this time between 10:08 and the current time, and how it acted from the first presented fair value gap. After that it came higher and went above this breaker block that I highlighted in yellow. So we do have a run from that breaker block, and the target, the optimum target could be the high of the new week opening gap. So far we are seeing the market has traded higher and higher, and let's see. We have a candle closed right below the high of the fair value gap, and let's see how this candle over here is acting. Okay, we have a kind of BC formed over here. From this candle's high to this candle's low. we have a inefficiency of type BC, and now the market tapped to this and reached the midpoint of it. I'm expecting to see a repel of this and sending price for higher prices. Couple this with the breaker block of this big red wick over here. Low, high, and lower low. So let's see. On SMT, we have failed to go above the high of the candle at 10 o'clock. But meanwhile, in Nasdaq, we have traded above and closed above this. We have closed an indecisive candle below the fair value gap I mentioned, and let's see. It's possible for the price to come lower and try reaching to this breaker block over here. Okay guys, I think for today it's enough for today, and we can see we had a very nice reaction from the first presented fair value gap over here to this first presented fair value gap on March 31st, and you could use this breaker block if you missed the first presented fair value gap of today and the 15-minute BC. You could use the order this breaker block over here coupled with this inversion fair value gap, or if you missed that, you could use the consequent encouragement of this week over here for 5-minute chart and enter on this for I apologize for going higher. Anyway, I wish you all happy trading and very nice day, and just be safe and be careful. Till talk to you later in another trading day. Have a good day and goodbye.